So this is my variable resistor project. And for the purpose of this project, I've actually added an extra wire and spaced out the circuit more to better represent the circuit diagram given in the example. So to start, the PBNO switch S1 acts as a controller for the charge and discharge of the capacitor. When you press S1, it allows the current to flow through both sides of the button, and more specifically the left side, which it allows the current to flow through the 470 ohm resistor R2, and then through the LED L3, which is yellow, and it closes the circuit as it goes, the other end goes into the negative power rail. So as long as S1 is pressed, LED L3 will stay lit. The current also flows through R1, which it will then flow through C1, allowing it to charge. And the way you can tell that C1 is charging is by the bicolor LED L1, which is red. The more C1 is charged, the more resistance it has, up to 99.9 and so on %, where it's completely charged. So the dimmer that LED L1 is, to the point where it will no longer light up, the more charged C1 is. As you can see, we now know that the capacitor is fully charged because I'm pressing S1 and LED L1 is off. When S1 is released, C1 will start to discharge, and the current will flow back through R1 and then R2, and it will then flow through LED L3. Then the current will go through the negative power rail and actually go through the other side of the bicolor LED, this time L2, which is green. And both of these LEDs will stay lit until until C1 is completely discharged. So now I'm going to let go, and you're going to see that both LEDs are going to temporarily light up, and when they stop, we know that C1 is completely discharged. S2 has two purposes. The first is to allow LED L1 to stay lit when S1 is pressed. So S2, when it's pressed, the current will actually flow through S2 instead of the capacitor because it's actually just taking the easiest route. And then it'll then flow through resistor R3, then through the wire, and will actually go right under the capacitor and light up bicolor LED L1. So the current will actually just flow right around the capacitor and it won't charge. As you can see, L1 stays lit. So the second purpose of S2 is to speed up the process of C1 discharging. When holding S2 after C1 has a charge, the charge from C1 will flow through S2 instead of flowing through resistor R1 because, like I said, the current will always take the easiest path. It will then flow through the resistor R3, then through the wire, and it will actually flow back through the capacitor again because instead of the bicolor LED because the current will take the easiest path. And then it'll actually go through the other end, and the current will just continue the cycle until C1 is completely discharged. So we're going to charge C1, and we're going to let go and press S2, and you'll see that the process of C1 discharging is sped up.